Hey guys, I'm EJ and this is I'd Review That. Today, we're gonna play some games. I got my retro NES, my original Sega Genesis, my tablet, my phone. EJ! This guy again. I've just come back to the future. Wait, isn't that some kind of paradox or something? Psh, that's a future EJ problem. We're going back to the 80s. The 80s? Yeah, put all that fancy machinery away. We're going to the arcade. Oh, okay. We don't really have to time travel to go to the arcade. What? Yeah, just come with me. Oh, hold on. I need to get more quarters then. Where we're going, you don't need any quarters. That's right, we're going to the arcade, but no time travel needed. Today, we're going to the old school 80s style RetroZone Arcade in the heart of Fort Myers, Florida. Now, it's located on Colonial Blvd in between Fowler and US 41, and it's only about a 10-minute drive from I-75. And just like any good 80s or 90s arcade, RetroZone is filled with all kinds of games. They have the old school arcade cabinets, they have the sit-down racing games, they have pinball machines, but they also have consoles for Sega, Nintendo, and PlayStation. All that combines to have over 100 different games to enjoy. And the cool thing is that the variety of the games and the type of games that they have is sure to satisfy any player and have hours of fun. They have old school classics like Centipede, Space Invaders, and Pac Man. They have shooting games like Terminator 2, Judgement Day, and Police Trainer. And action games just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, the Simpsons game, and Bad Dudes. And games that showcase sports such as NBA Jam and WWF Wrestling. And they have the classic fighting games, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom. And they have several pinball machines, some like the X-Men, Stranger Things, Tales from the Crypt, and RoboCop. And honestly, this is really just scratching the surface of everything that RetroZone has. And one of the best things about RetroZone is you don't need any quarters or any tokens to play the games. You just pay a flat fee when you enter, and then you have access to every game inside the store. Now I can tell you that between my son and I, we played enough games to cover our entrance fee and then some. And then another cool thing about RetroZone is that they host a number of events, competitions, and giveaways. They actually just finished a high score challenge on their Stranger Things pinball machine. And they've also given away a number of free admissions over the past year or so. And then the events, you can host a team building exercise, you can host your birthday party, you can rent out the whole place and invite all your friends, or just keep it all to yourself. Now, if you lose track of time and you forget that you're supposed to go home and eat, RetroZone's got you covered. You can bring in outside food and drink. They also have a variety of snacks and drinks for purchase, but you can also have your favorite delivery service like Grubhub, Bite Squad, and Uber Eats all deliver right to RetroZone. And when I was looking at the reviews for RetroZone, it's exactly what you would expect with any kind of business. There's positive ones and there's negative ones. But I can tell you that the positive ones far outweigh any of the negative reviews. Now for the negative reviews, some people said that it was okay for a bit, but it got boring quite quick, that it was small, dark, crowded, a little overpriced, hard to find, and that the staff there was extremely rude. And as I mentioned, the positive reviews far outweigh the negative ones. It's easily 10 to 1, if not more than that. There was a self-proclaimed helicopter mom who said she fully trusted the establishment and felt that it was very affordable. A family visited and said they would definitely be going back. That the store was filled to the brim with all kinds of games, that the staff was super friendly and attentive, and that it was highly recommended for all ages. And as usual, I fall somewhere in between the negative and the positive reviews. However, for RetroZone, I'm much more tilted towards the positive ones than the negative ones. Now with that said, I do agree that it was a bit darker than I prefer, but it wasn't off-putting to the whole experience. And it is a smaller space, so if a large crowd came in at one time, I could see it being extremely crowded inside the store. Now, with that said, the staff was kind and friendly to me and my son. They actually took the time to show us around the entire arcade and explain to us how all the different machines worked. And they also checked up on us throughout our stay while we were playing, just to make sure everything was just going well. And it's pretty much for all ages, but I wouldn't really suggest taking a kid maybe under 6, maybe 5. I just don't think the younger kids are really going to have the attention span to want to sit there and play these old school games, but it's still pretty much for all ages. And there's one other thing that I want to point out. It's an 80s style arcade. So you're going to have some game consoles, some game cabinets that are in there that are 20, 30, maybe even 40 years old. So they're not all going to be in pristine condition. However, I can say that the only game I really encountered any issues with was one of the Ninja Turtles games, and the controls and everything functioned just fine. It was the sound kept cutting in and out. But other than that, really didn't have any problems with the gameplay on any of the other machines. They all worked really well. And now it's time for me to give my rating of RetroZone Arcade in Fort Myers, Florida. And I'm going to give it a racing ostrich. My son and I thoroughly enjoyed our time at the arcade. It made 2 hours seem like 20 minutes. The time just flew by. And as we're walking out the door, my son was already asking when we're going to come back. Now, I can say we will go back, but it's not a place we're going to frequent every weekend or every month. For me, it's a little bit of a hike. It's about 40-45 minutes from where I live, so it's not that quick to go there whenever we want. So it's some place I'll go to throughout the year, but it's not a place I'm just going to frequent all the time. Now, if you're looking to relive some of your childhood, those days you spent in the arcade, you don't have to look any further than RetroZone. And I really hope that you take some time to go down there and visit and experience what they have. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Other than that, that's all I've got. I'm EJ, and this is I'd Review That.